All right, man. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Rundown. Daryl Long setting the record straight, the simp guy, all of it. Welcome back to another episode, man. I'm very, 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 very excited about moving forward with just what kind of content we're going to be making. I'm very excited about just how good we're going to be producing content these days, man. Y'all see the camera is litty. Y'all see the camera is nutty, right? Oh, camera two nutty too, right? And I ain't even put everything out the bag yet. Don't worry about it. But look, today I want to talk about Jas Noelle versus Mr. Fantastic. It's about to get real. Mr. Fantastic. It has nothing to do with the camera. Oh, you trying to say I look good next phases? You trying to say I look good? It's not about the camera?
Wow. Wow.
Now, apparently, I must look good. And tonight, I will actually allow people to come up. But once again, you must be on camera. You must be on camera. If you're not on camera, I can't do nothing with you. But I want to talk about Jas Noelle, and she was debating Mr. Fantastic, the prince of the Manosphere himself. The prince of the Manosphere himself, he had a lot to say. He had a lot to say, and I don't know, man. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So, first of all, shout out to everybody in the chat. Next phase he said I'm a weirdo. Next phase always come in with the smoke. He always come in with the smoke, bro, every single time. And because it's still Halloween, I'm feeling festive a little bit. I'm gonna throw up the Halloween joint, right? I'm gonna throw up the Halloween joint, fair use. Or do y'all like the one that go all the way around? Y'all like this one? How I go all the way around? Let me know which one y'all like more, man. All right. But happy holidays to everybody that's watching. I do appreciate every single person for tapping in. Let me see what battery, like what's my battery on my iPhone. All right, we should be good. If you guys can hear me and if you guys can see me very well, put a 1 in the chat. All right, please put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Next phase it says fair use. Nobody care about your content. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that I'm a nobody in these YouTube streets. I appreciate you for reaffirming that I'm a nobody in these YouTube streets. Thank you. Now, let's get to the goddamn debate. We have Jas versus Mr. Fantastic. After Tyranny and Lucky went at it, I'm going to be reviewing that, tomorrow. Hey, Tiffany K. Shout out to Tiffany K. You look good on that avatar, mama. You look beautiful. We got some baddies over here today. Let's get directly into this. Hold on now. Let me refresh this real quick. Yeah, Tiffany, you look very beautiful. I like you on that avatar. You look very beautiful. Shout out to Tiffany. All right, now let me go to Fantastic and Jas.
EPT. I get what that's why I get where Tyranny is saying, like, y'all don't have no issue with these billionaires that's exploiting the poor. Brett Favre. Brett Favre had a whole not a allegation, but a whole situation where he got all of like a bunch of welfare assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He got millions of dollars off of a welfare farm. We all know Brett Favre.
So yeah, what Jas is talking about is famous quarterback Brett Favre. He received PPP loans or something like that. And everybody talked about it. I feel like the stream moving kind of slow. I want to move the quality down to what you call. I can't change it. I can't change the stream from 4K to 1080p. Fuck it. But Brett Favre took a whole bunch of money, and we know he's a millionaire. He was borrowing money that was supposed to go to people, business owners who actually needed help during the pandemic, and he took the money despite being a fucking millionaire. So he was basically scamming, and people was very upset about it. Tiffany says, "I like Jas, even though she might not always agree with her." Next phase is still hating in the chat. Let's keep going.
Did not need EBT at all. But there are people in these tax brackets that do exploit the poor. That's kind of how the country was designed. But I see both sides. But if we're going to have smoke for the people down here, we should have smoke, a lot of smoke for those.
Okay, so I think this is where the part of the conversation I opt out of, and it kind of like, because let's have smoke for the rich people. We do. Why can't we disperse smoke for the people that take advantage of our money, whether you're rich or not?
But the thing is, Lucky, is the way you're defining people who take advantage, that's the problem. You're defining, well, this woman is taking advantage of blah 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 ski. Well, that's not true at all. You're making it seem like baby mamas are the ones that's taking advantage of a fucking welfare in the system, when again, that's not true at all. A lot of the times, there's people that's taking advantage of it. It's white women, it's not black women. So if you want to hold white women accountable, by all means, hold white women accountable. But a lot of the times, it's not black women that's taking advantage of the system. It's white women. White women predominantly are the ones that's on food stamps more than anybody else. If we're not having that conversation, then I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I think we have a disdain towards black people who simply want to do better and need help. We have millions of people that would have went hungry if it wasn't for two federal judges that says, no, we're not going to let millions of people starve. That also is going to, impact the economy, because when people get food stamps, they go into stores and they spend money. We want to keep the economy. We want to keep the economy moving in a positive fashion. We don't want to negatively impact the economy at all. That happens when you have somebody who is supposed to be spending money, but they now don't have the money to spend. Guys, please stop spamming my chat with bullshit. Please stop coming into my chat, spamming it with bullshit. Please. And shout out to Rennie Reacts. I've never seen your channel, but shout out to you, Rennie Reacts. Let's go ahead and let's keep watching.
Why do we have to pick and choose? I will fight everybody in this bitch.
I want to check the audio because it sounds like it's like glitching or whatever, and I hate when that happens. So I'm just gonna check it right now, myself. Let me check it. Give me 1 second. So I'm just gonna check it right. Guys, please stop.
I will fight everybody in this bitch.
Yeah, so it sounded like the audio cut out. Yeah, I heard that. The sound went off. I'm gonna try to fix it right now. Give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. I am back. I figured out what was going on too, and now I know not to make this mistake again. So until I get my USB where I'm going to have my Ethernet hooked up to this iMac, I'm going to stream in 1080p. It's just so much safer. But you guys should be able to hear me. But anyway, let me go ahead and go back to the video. And shout out to everybody watching. Even the haters like Next Phases, I appreciate them all. I appreciate you all. I genuinely do. All right. So again, the conversation that we're having right now is about the government shutdown and how it correlates to food stamps, families, black women, black children, right? And a lot of black men are bitter. A lot of black men don't want to see black women get food stamps because they want black women to be slaves. A lot of black men, because they feel some type of way about black women, they have this need, right? They have this need to make black women slaves. And a part of that is making sure they don't have any resources at all. As long as they don't have no resources, these black men are happy. These black men are completely comfortable with going out of their way to say, hey, listen, you can't feed your children. Now you got to come back to a man. That's the only way you can feed yourself. And women are proving that that's not the case. Women are proving they don't need to actually deal with a bandit in order to take care of themselves. So listen, let's go back to the video. I want you guys to actually watch the video, enjoy this video. It's going to be really good. I think I'm going to keep it on this one because I don't want to get, copyright striked by Lucky Marie. I know Jazz is cool, but Lucky, she's still real sensitive about all the stuff that happened in the past. So let's keep going.
I will fight everybody in this bitch. Why the fuck we can't have that type of energy? Why is it, oh, they're so down here? You just look how you just said she's so down here. She came up here to say, bitch, I'm not down there. And I'm still taking advantage of your money. And bitch.
Yeah. And then
that was her attitude. Yeah. But we're supposed to, let's not pay attention to her because we know them poverty people in that mindset. Let's focus on the people that's scamming. Or let's just focus on scammers in general, whether you have money or not. I don't like people that scam and at my expense. Can we say that too? I don't like when I think I'm about to buy a house on Zillow and it's an African who lying about selling somebody else's house. I don't like that either. I don't like when Habibs call me talking about, hey, have you been approved for a government loan and all this type of, I don't like that either. We can talk about all other scams, but why is it that when we talk about a scam and it just happens to be, and we know the largest demographic is not black, so why did a black woman feel to put herself in a situation to fit the stereotype that we have to fight, Jazz?
At the end of the day, you're talking about a government that owes African Americans billions of dollars. And it's pretty ignorant for anybody to question why somebody who is qualified would use the money. Like, at the end of the day, if tyranny is qualified for food stamps, then what's the problem? It really shouldn't be a problem with her wanting to receive food stamps. I don't understand why Lucky has gotten to the point where she's such a right conservative, and she's not thinking about the fact that she's a black mother as well. She has a daughter as well. Is there any empathy? Is there any sympathy at all? And to act like you care about the people who is being scammed, what outreach programs do you have set up to reach those people? What are you doing on your platform to reach those people? How much of your money every month goes towards the people who are being scammed and not getting access to their welfare? None. So at the end of the day, we got to start having a more genuine conversation. And the conversation that she's having right now is very disingenuous. So let's keep going, man.
Why did she choose to do that?
I don't know. I just think that both sides can be true.
I agree.
Here we go.
Let me move this.
Mr. Fantastic. Now, the funny thing about Mr. Fantastic, like I said, I don't have no problem with Fantastic. As a matter of fact, I'll say this as I always say it. When my daughter was being attacked online by Lucky Marie, when Lucky Marie called CPS on me and lied and said that my daughter was being put in a cage, right? When Lucky Marie and my ex, along with some of my ex-friends, when they went online saying that my daughter was being allegedly SA'd, et cetera, had the FBI, CPS all coming to my house, right? Police coming to my house every day. Every day after I moved to Illinois, every day. Coming to my house in Southfield every day, right? They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about how they lied and lied and lied and lied, and then they get caught out on it, right? Now, I don't think Mr. Fantastic would ever call those women out. I don't think he would say, hey, Lucky, I don't feel like I can fuck with you or I should fuck with you because you're the kind of woman that if a man stopped fucking with you, right? If a man stopped fucking with you, you're going to call CPS on him. You're going to weaponize the system. From my understanding, Fantastic don't like women like that. But usually, this is what the men say. I got to stay out of that business. I got to stay out of that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Because they don't really want to get to a point where they hold the woman accountable. Now, if she looked like, well, I guess tyranny in their minds, if she looked like somebody who was unattractive in their minds, it'd be easier for them to say, you was wrong. If they didn't believe that they can use her beauty and her platform for their own purposes, it'll be easier. And trust me, I understand it because I forgave this person multiple times after they fucked me over. And I had to learn you got to hold people truly accountable or they never change. And that's why I kind of stay away from people in the space. I just react to the content. So let's go to this exchange between Jas and Mr. Fantastic. If I can get Mr. Fantastic or Jas, Lucky is blocked from the channel, but if I can get Mr. Fantastic or Jas to come up to clarify some of the things in this video, that will be wonderful. That'll be very wonderful. Let's go. I hate that the audio is fucking up, bro. I really do. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I actually have a remedy for this. Tiffany said people are weirdos and envious. They ain't. Oh, next phase said they ain't because you just be talking crazy. Next phase, you still here, bro? It's crazy. I didn't know you were still here, bro. You a demon, next phase. You a real life demon. I'm gonna have to grab my MacBook Pro and run the stream too from here. I be working so hard, y'all don't even know. Just for me to get my work done, just so I can be the best content creator that I feel like I deserve to be because YouTube allowed me back on these YouTube streets. I feel like I deserve to be the best content creator I can possibly be. And that's what the fuck I'm gonna do. And that's what happens when you have a brand new MacBook Pro and you have a multiple. I still got my camera set up right here, guys. Listen, it's all good. Look, I should probably move it. Get that out to the shot. Anyway, let me go ahead and Let me go to the stream. And let me go to the other video I was reacting to so we can get to this. The one thing I love about my MacBook, and I'm thinking I might start streaming from here, is it's just so much more powerful than my iMac. I was actually talking to the guy at Best Buy about upgrading because I already upgraded to the most powerful MacBook that money can buy. So I wanna get the the most powerful iMac, which is the M4, but the M5 just came out. We'll see. All right. Let me share my screen after I get this video up. I think I might do it like this. That way I can maintain the 4K quality. And yeah, I might have to do it like that actually. All right. Boom. Put it on full screen. I need which one do I need? Sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. That's the one I need. Bam. All right. So let's go ahead and go to this. Everybody should be able to hear it. Let's go.
Yeah. People have a very, very poor understanding of how, I guess, like the system works. Poor people don't get paid by your taxes. I mean, I'm sorry, rich people don't get paid by your taxes. The government does. So everybody keep talking about, oh, they getting paid off, but no, you get paid by, again, patronizing the corporations they build. Without the rich people, there'll be no jobs. Without the rich people, there'll be no goods. Without the rich people, there'd be no grocery stores in the first place. You have to hunt and kill and grow your own food. What can you hear? I'm speaking clear English. I'm gonna say it again for you since you said what. Without the rich people, there would be no grocery stores, and you would have to grow, hunt, trap, kill your own food and process it. So when people say these really stupid things,
I'm gonna let Fantastic finish his point. I just don't fully understand where we're going with this. So it seems like the point he's trying to make is without the grocery stores that white men own, without the grocery stores, people will have to go out and hunt, and people will have to go out to do certain things. I mean, what's the problem with that? I don't see that being a big deal. I really don't. I don't see that being a big deal at all. As a matter of fact, I think that's something that if people had to, they would. People would go out and hunt. People would go out and go get the food that they need. It's not that big of a deal. No, go around. Go around. Just go around.
The door is locked downstairs.
Which door is locked downstairs?
Like the one in the kitchen. The kitchen door.
All right, go ahead. Okay, princess. Go ahead.
Oh man. Close the door. Okay, close the door.
Family man. I don't understand the point that Fantastic is trying to say. And I didn't block you, next phases. Let's keep going.
That they don't understand is clearly right in your face. It just shows again how people just want to be emotional and not just go with the actual shit that's just right before your face. Okay. Very, very few people know how to do anything as far as hunting and gathering, growing, any of those things, right? Another thing. So let's go back to the most important thing. It's crazy to me.
The government bails out rich people with tax money, you liar.
The government, okay, so if the government doesn't bail out the rich people, what happens? And do they bail out rich people? Or do they bail out rich corporations? See, again, people say real stupid shit. It sounds smart to people that don't know.
I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Fantastic, but I do think it's bitch ass shit when niggas just can't have a conversation with a woman. Like, why can't you just have a conversation with Shorty, bro? Why is it she's saying stupid ass shit? Why do you have to attack her? right? Oh, Fear, you can time them out as much as you want. You good. But why can't you just have a genuine conversation with her instead of attacking her? Why do you feel like the only way for you to really get your point across is to call her stupid? Is to tell her how fucking stupid she is. I don't know, bro. To me, that's a little bit absurd. And it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. You don't have to call her stupid. You don't have to do all of these subliminal shit, bro. To me, to be honest, that shit is really goofy. It's really, 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 really fucking goofy. It's lame. It's corny. You're not teaching somebody by insulting them. You're not proving that you're intelligent by using ad hominems. And calling somebody stupid is that's a flat out insult. That's part of the reason that I don't really enjoy watching this space no more, because it reminds me how stupid people think that they're smart. I have no problem debating Fantastic or anybody else, right? But let's say if anybody was to accept these challenges, which they won't, this is the merits that I'm willing to debate on, right? Sorry, this is the rules I'm willing to debate under. Nobody can interrupt anybody. We have to have facts, which means, right, when you make a point, you have to be able to prove that point. If you can't prove that point, then you shouldn't be making that point. Do you understand? Now, I'm going to have to break down a lot of things that Fantastic was wrong about in this video today. Let's go ahead and get to it.
Oh, no better. So the government has never bailed out an individual. It's bailed out a corporation. So when you had the banks that the government bailed out.
Hold on, I got a response for him. I got a response for you from a man. Can you
okay, well, yeah, just had a man talk to me.
The government has never bailed out people. It's only bailed out corporations. Who run corporations? Who operate corporations? Right? When the government bailed out the big three, yes, they bailed out the corporation, but who did they really bail out? Was it no people involved at all, Mr. Fantastic? This is ridiculous. And I don't expect somebody like Lucky to check it. Somebody who never went to college, never got accepted to any colleges. I don't expect her to actually have the wherewithal to actually check something like that. No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't be able to do that. She wouldn't be able to do that. Let me make sure this lighting up too. There we go. But it's very easy, right? When situations like the big three get bailed out or any corporation get bailed out, it benefits families. It benefits people. And truthfully, I'm not against corporate bailouts, right? Let me put that on the record now. I'm not against corporate bailouts. But in the conversation where we're talking about poor people don't deserve food stamps, but you're okay with people who are already billionaires, who can just simply spend the billions of the billions of dollars that they already have, they can spend that money instead. They get tax breaks. They get corporate bailouts. But the poor people who don't have the money, they don't get any bailouts. They don't get any money. They're begging for a handout. Donald Trump, who Mr. Fantastic supports, has declared for bankruptcy multiple fucking times. A billionaire. And of course, anybody who is intelligent will understand why he did it and understand that it's a smart fucking move. Nevertheless, when he go out and take out loans. Right? When somebody like fucking the football player Brett Favre, when he go out and get PPP loans, nobody is saying he's begging. Nobody's saying anything. It's clear that people like Fantastic, people like Anton Daniels, people like Lucky Marie, these individuals have issues with the Black community. They have a certain amount of self-hatred amongst themselves. They find reasons to blame the Black community and Black people, baby mamas, for everything. That comes from a lack of understanding the history of America. That comes from a lack of history of understanding who caused the trauma in America, who runs America, who runs the economy. This is why I would definitely love to debate pretty much anybody who is welcome to challenge me. Anybody who feels smart enough to challenge me on this, I welcome it. But let's keep going with the video.
And don't relay the message.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can hear him in the background. He can just talk. He ain't got to get on camera.
Come closer so you can hear him loud.
It'd be much easier. Go right ahead.
Relax. Okay, go ahead.
So, Tiffany, can somebody, either my wife, Tiffany, anybody, make sure that they put a 1 in the chat just to make sure they can hear the content? And if I'm coming through clearly, the visuals are coming through clearly, put a 2. If you can see the visuals clearly, put a 1. If you can hear everything clearly. Thank you.
One thing I will say, rich people don't create anything. It's intellectuals that create the things in which you're talking about. A lot of people can be rich and literally make nothing, right? So it's like you can be born into it and all these other things, but there's usually the intellects and the go-getters that create stuff. And in turn out, they end up being rich by the stuff that they make. When you say rich, the government doesn't bail out poor people. I mean, they don't bail out rich people. They do because their wealth is tied to the entity in which they control. It's not physical cash, right? So if the government doesn't, like, say this, like, perfect example, Tesla, right? Elon Musk wouldn't have all that money that he makes, one, because he's an investor into a company he did not make, right? There were two people that originally founded Tesla. Mm-hmm. He was a person that knew how to, like, raise money, right? Because he did PayPal and all these other things, right? So, but what Elon Musk does is he doesn't get a physical check. He gets paid through equity. But if the government never subsidized Tesla, he wouldn't have hundreds of billions of dollars. And also, if Tesla loses all of its value, his net worth goes down to 0 because he doesn't have the physical cash. So therefore, the government is, by subsidizing him and paying him those credits in which he makes, you're actually paying him because they go hand in hand.
You know, so
exactly. Before Fantastic make whatever dumbass argument he's about to make, that's true. So Fantastic, let me make this right. So when the government gives Tesla money, that they're not giving that money to Elon. So who controls Tesla? Elon? And shout out to Jas boyfriend for pulling up and speaking for her and not allowing her to be disrespected and called stupid. And you see, let me point something out real quick. He didn't call Fantastic stupid. He didn't use ad hominems. He didn't need to talk shit to Fantastic or none of this goofy shit. Only thing he said was, yeah, bro, that's not exactly true. When a company or entity is bought out, it still goes directly to the people, which is pretty much what I said earlier. When Steve Jobs was alive, but you know what? He's not alive. So let's use Tim Cook. If Apple get a corporate bailout, there's no way to say that, well, that didn't benefit Tim Cook at all. We need to start having intellectually genuine conversations in this space. And shout out to Jas' boyfriend, man. I can't wait till I meet Jas and her boyfriend. I hope I bump into them soon, man. We in the same city. Shout out to them. All right, let's hear what Fantastic has to say.
You're actually paying him because they go hand in hand.
You know, so you're still wrong. Let me explain to you why you're wrong.
How am I wrong about that?
Well, let me explain it to you. You're still wrong. So again, because Elon Musk, they're not paying Elon Musk. That was my original statement, and then you admitted that that's what I said. Because Elon Musk knew how to pay himself through stock options, they still not making a paycheck out to Elon Musk. They're making it out to Tesla. So my original statement stands, as in they don't bail out individuals, they bail out corporations. If
But
the
you're
people
talking-
that run,
you're
hold
talking
on, I didn't cut you off at all. I never say nothing while you was talking for a reason, just for that reason. I'm really good with listening, right? So the same thing works with these other banks and things, right? When they did the bank bailout, they had to, because if they don't, now the whole country is on some World War X shit. Okay, the whole country is Mad Max and Thunderdome. So there is a such thing as too big to fail. All right. So when you try to use Tesla and Elon Musk as an example, you're being disingenuous, and you're even in your explanation, because there are plenty of other people who could have chose the same option. They just did not do it. That's why Elon Musk has hundreds of billions of dollars versus anybody else, because not even the people at Apple, not the people at fucking Meta, nobody else was able to do the thing what Elon Musk did. So you can't fault Elon Musk and say, "Oh, we're paying Elon Musk." No, you're not. And Tesla isn't the only company. Google's the same way. The fucking government funded Google. That's why Google is what Google is. The government funds whoever it chooses to fund at the time.
And yeah, Larry Page and them have hundreds of billions of dollars to read the founders of Google. So my thing is, in regards to what you're saying, so there's two things in the.
What they're talking about right now is opinions, right? Well, let me make myself accurate. Fantastic was true when he said that corporations get bailed out, not people. But his statement was ultimately false because he made it seem like it was separate from the CEO or the founder. Like they won't have access to this capital and won't be able to use that money specifically. But that's exactly what the fuck will happen. That's literally exactly what the fuck will happen. The person who runs the company, the person who runs the corporation, will have access to set funds. That's just what it is. If you're denying that, then you're not really having a truthful conversation. You're not having a genuine conversation. And I hate that we got to have these semantics and technical conversations. Yes, technically they write the check to Tesla, not Elon Musk. Can we get back to the genuine conversation? Can we get back to helping people? And what can we do with these platforms to help individuals? Let's keep going.
In a cycle of a big business, right? There's the original founders that run the business and thing nature. If your company grows big enough over time, eventually the founders leave and somebody gets appointed, right?
Right.
Like Bill Gates is still alive, but he doesn't run Microsoft anymore. He has a CEO that does it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people as they pass along. So what he's really talking about in the sense of when companies kind of get fathered in, like Chase, right? JP Morgan Chase, right? Jamie Dimon didn't create that company. JP Morgan Chase has been around for a long time. So in a sense of his point is when they bailed out the money, yes, they paid Chase because they are a great entity, right? Chase is going to be around whether Jamie Dimon is there or not. When I use the specific thing about Tesla is, the thing is, Elon Musk wouldn't have his money if one, nobody didn't create Tesla before he did, and he just came in to raise the money. And two, he wouldn't have that money without the government paying Tesla that equated to his increased net in value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even though, like I said, while I'm saying it's semantics, either regard, without that government influence,
Right.
Elon Musk doesn't have his money.
So I got a question. How does all of that affect the middle class and everyone else? How does that?
Shout out to Jas. I like how when I see a woman who is happy in her relationship, happy with her man, that pleases me because that let me know that she has love in her life. You know what I mean? Part of the reason why I don't get online every day and go off on people every day and do all the stuff I used to do is because I have a lot of love in my life now. There's no reason for me to get on here and yell and scream. There's no reason for me to insult people and call them stupid. Because I don't feel the need to do that. I want to attack the message. I want to attack the hypocrisy. I don't want to attack people. To me, that's a sign of a disingenuous conversation. And what intentions do you really have if you're coming to insult the person that you're debating and call them stupid and all kind of obscene fucking names? And we're adults. Most of us are. I'm 35, fantastic. The rest of them niggas, they 40 years old. This should be something that they're not doing on a daily basis. Talking to women in an absurd way. Fantastic wouldn't want his daughters talk to like that, or the women in his life that he loved talk to like that. Right? I think we need to lead by example as black men and show more decorum when it comes to having these conversations. I myself have done awful things in this space. Can we not change? Can we not grow? Anyway, man, let me keep going, B. Shit is low-key absurd how wicked some of these niggas be.
The negative and negatively impact the lower class. Like when we say we need to be talking to the billionaires.
It doesn't.
Why should we be, instead of arguing with each other, why should we be arguing?
It doesn't.
Why should we need to be talking to the billionaires?
It doesn't.
Why should we be?
You think that the things that the billionaires do and corporate bailouts don't impact the small folks? Okay. Fine. Samsung is right here. Go ahead and bust this boy open. Crack open Gemini. Of course, we got to do the Gemini test to see if these men are right or if they're wrong. Because Mr. Fantastic may be right. I may be wrong. So let's see what happens. Gemini. I was listening to Mr. Fantastic, and he said that corporate bailouts and situations where billionaires are being bailed out by the government, that don't impact the middle class or small folk at all. Is he right?
Many experts disagree with that view, arguing that government support for large corporations and the wealthy, often called corporate welfare, does impact the middle class and small businesses. This support, like subsidies or tax breaks, is often funded by taxpayers and can lead to a disproportionate tax burden on the rest of the public. It can harm small businesses by giving subsidized competitors an unfair market advantage.
Damn.
Critics argue it misallocates resources, distorts markets, and can contribute to rising inequality and economic instability that eventually affects average people. Some argue that these programs are necessary to create jobs or stabilize critical industries, but many studies find little evidence that they boost broader economic growth or job creation more effectively than general tax cuts or pro-growth reforms.
Oh. So fantastic. In case you didn't hear that, many experts, are you an expert, Mr. Fantastic, on this subject that you're discussing right now? I'm not. I'm pretty sure you're not either. But many experts would disagree with that point of view. They would argue that the government support for large corporations and the wealthy, often called corporate welfare. So you call it a corporate bailout. A lot of the experts call it corporate welfare. And they say that this actually does impact the middle class and small businesses, right? That it creates disproportionate tax burdens on the rest of the public. That it harms small businesses by giving subsidized competitors an unfair market advantage. Can we have conversations about that? Oh, and you will argue that it creates jobs, et cetera, et cetera. But many studies find little evidence that actually show that it boosts broader economic growth or job creation. This is why when I debate y'all need y'all receipts. They need to be from accredited institutions, right? That's what they have to be from. Otherwise, we can't have no conversations. It's not going to be like the old days where we allow y'all to say any fucking thing. Can't have that. Absolutely not. Let's keep going with the reaction, man. You know I gotta pause every now and then for fair use purposes.
Instead of arguing with each other, why should we be arguing with the government? And
one of the issues that he said, that the issue that I took in him in regards to what he said was when he talked about rich people creating things. No, like I said, the intellectuals create things.
Well, no.
Right?
Well, no,
one of
no.
the things that what happens often, and some billionaires are great intellectuals. I'm not saying that, right?
So fantastic. Shut up and let him speak because he's actually being honest. How much money did Steve Jobs have when he created everything for Apple? He had nothing. He was poor. He was a Syrian immigrant living with his adopted parents, and he had just dropped out of Drew University or Drew College. Look it up. It wasn't until a rich investor invested into Apple that allowed Apple to grow. How would I know this? I don't know. How would I know this? Let me see if I can find it. It might be over here. Oh yeah, it's right here. I know some of you other peasants don't read, but it's right here. It's right here. He describes it all. In this book, Steve Jobs breaks down how it was almost impossible for him to get his ideas off the ground. Brilliant billion-dollar ideas, but he didn't have the corporate funding. He needed the funding. So as Jasmine boyfriend is saying, rich people don't create everything. They invest into innovators. They invest into scientists. You guys got to read. And for you guys who don't know, Walter Isaacson spent 10 years with Steve Jobs writing this book. This is basically known as the autobiography of Steve Jobs. Okay? Bought that book when it came out. Everybody who knows me know that I love Apple. I love Steve Jobs. And he means a lot to me. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. Let's keep going with the video. I just want to... Fantastic, you were wrong. All right? Wrong, and we don't have to fight about it. Babe said that book thick as hell. That book is very deep. But I'm not going to talk about Steve Jobs and his life right now. Different day.
But my thing is, some of them, they know how to do things like, I would say this, Thomas Edison, right? You know, Thomas Edison is he's supposed to be this great inventor, right?
yeah,
But what Thomas Edison was a great exploiter of great inventors. He was a shark in the waters that knew how to take your patent, do everything, then flip it, and he makes money, right?
That's a great analogy, shark in the water. Because Shark Tank, the guys on Shark Tank don't create anything. As a matter of fact, oftentimes they look at people who could be really good people, really good businesses, and they say, well, fuck it. One of the biggest ones that I remember is the Ring Camera people. Ring Camera came to the Shark Loan people and it was like, we got this brilliant idea to put security cameras on every door in America. They turned them niggas away. They already had created the technology. They already had copyrighted all the IP, right? All the intellectual property. It was all theirs. When other investors saw it, it fucking skyrocketed to the point where it went crazy. They had no choice but to get rich at that point. So Jazz boyfriend, he's completely right, Mr. Fantastic. He's actually completely right now. Yes, babe, the company played it. Child. Even what we're using right now on YouTube, those guys weren't rich. Google bought this platform from two gentlemen and gave them $1 billion. They were not billionaires before YouTube. Before Google reached out to them. This is how billionaires absorb companies, absorb ideas. And you see this happening a lot in startup companies. Startup companies may produce a really good product. They get bought out by a bigger competitor. That idea get bought up, the trademark, everything, the copyright, it all get bought up. And then they get absorbed. Simple as that. The sharks are lazy billionaires, babe. Not just millionaires, billionaires. Let's keep going.
But he wouldn't have what he has without the black person that invented the filament of the light bulb because he failed at it. Or he wouldn't have, in regards to now to do the electrical current because of Nikola Tesla, where he invented these different things. So my thing is, what people have to realize, it's a give and take in a situation, right? Like, you have to understand that. And I tell this to, if I talk to any billionaire, they'll let you know, is at the end of the day, if they're being honest, I may have an idea, I may have a concept, but me alone, I can't do anything. That's why I need somebody that has special writing, special and all these other things, right? And then you matriculate that down. And that's why the issue with when you talk about working with billionaires, one of the things you got to talk to the billionaire class that they often forget sometimes when you get high on that status group, you're not creating all this value by yourself, bro.
So, it don't matter. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. Without their money, your idea is just that idea. So again, no matter how good your idea is, if nobody funds it, it's just a fucking idea. This is why people make patents. This is why people sell their intellectual property. So you're further making my point. Without the billionaires, none of that shit matters. You can be the smart.
But fantastic. We have to ask, how did these people get money? How did they come to a point in life where they have all of this money? They get all of this money because they started fucking people over. They get all this money because they have. I mean, let's be honest. I can't name too many people in this country that don't thrive off of new era slavery, right? If you read a book called Mass Incarceration, The New Jim Crow, is by It's by Michelle Alexander. And it breaks down how slavery went into mass incarceration, and then that basically became a business. They literally make money off incarcerating Americans, which is why our country has the largest incarcerated population in the world. Let's fact check Daryl Long. Let's see if I'm lying. Maybe I'm lying. Gemini. Does America have the largest incarcerated population in the world?
Yes, based on the total number of people incarcerated, the United States has the largest prison population in the world by a significant margin. Here are the key facts, according to...
Wrong. It's almost like when I say some shit, I mean it. America has the largest prison population in the fucking world, and it's a major margin compared to the next country. But you know what? Let's get into this debate. I want to watch it all.
This motherfucker in the world. If nobody's out there to fucking promote your product, if nobody's out there to get your product on sales, you just have a really good idea you're gonna make no fucking money from. Okay, no. This is why people say, hold on, brother. Again, I didn't cut you off.
Go ahead. You're right.
Listen. All right. So this is why I'm gonna say it again. I'm extremely calm. I'm not. All I'm telling him is give me the same respect I gave him. You calm down. So again, no need for all the faces and stuff. Okay, and your bang too low. But anyway, listen.
Well, you don't want to get on anybody's appearance. Let's not go there.
Yeah, we can't do that. Fantastic. We can't talk about appearance with a woman like Jas. Jas is drop dead gorgeous. I don't know what I mean. The way I look at it like this, fantastic, is I don't want to judge you, right? From dude to dude, that'll be suspect. I'll give you that. But I would ask, I don't know, Lucky Marie. What would she rate you from a scale of 1 to 10? And do she find you more handsome, I don't know, than me? For example. I don't know. You just let me know, doggy. Let me know, man. I don't know, man. Ladies, put a 1 in the chat if you think that Mr. Fantastic is a handsome, slick bachelorette that you would date. Put a 1 in the chat if you would marry Mr. Fantastic, if you would let him hit that coochie, any damn thing. Let a nigga know, man. I want to see what kind of people I got around me. Shit.
I do
Yeah,
this.
Let's not do that. Let's not go on anybody's appearance.
Let's not do that. I promise you, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go.
So you have to make no shot at my hair.
Are we really about to entertain a conversation about looks right now? And Lucky, are you not going to just come out and say, hold on, Fantastic, please. Keep it on business and politics. You was damn near, you know what I'm saying? You was winning. You was Batman, Superman right now. You had a chance to win. But if y'all go into the looks department, I'm afraid my friend is over. If y'all go into the looks department, it's raps for you, bro. It's raps. I'm telling you as a nigga that's going to tell you the truth. I don't mean that as a slight. I don't mean that as a diss. Jas and Lucky would tell you that I look better than you. There's not a single woman on YouTube that would tell you look better than me. They might like the height. I give you that. But the looks, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, fall back. Fall all the way the fuck back, bro. You moving crazy right now. And I would want to see the chick that you dating or your baby mama to compare her to Jas. Because if Jas looks is not up to par, then surely your baby mama must be bad. And I don't mean that as a diss. When I see your baby mama, your ex-wife, because I'm not disrespectful, bro. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And if it's coming across that way, then I apologize. But you must be telling me that your baby mama, your ex-wife, she gotta look, she gotta put Jas to shame. Now, you know what? Let me leave all that shit alone because I respect Fantastic, man. I don't want that nigga on my ass, bro. I don't want no smoke, man. I'm just doing content. I'm just a bitch ass nigga.
Hey, you didn't have to cut me off in the first place, but it's cool. Let me get back to the conversation. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's either way. So like I was saying, so as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, okay? Listen, again, none of that matters. If was a fifth, brother, I try to keep count of how many times you said if and I lost count, brother. It just is what it is. You even again defeated your whole point when you said, hey, there's give and take in anything. Okay. The give and the take is this. No matter how good your fucking ideal is, if there's no money behind it, it's useless. This is why people sell their intellectual property. This is why people create great things and then fucking Tesla comes and buys it up. Or Google comes and buys it up. And as you said, to a lot of these points, it's some real.
So it defeats your point that rich people create things, right? It's wrong. Rich people don't create things. Rich people own intellectual property and they profit maximize off those things. I learned that at Central Michigan University because I was a finance. I was actually a double major in computer science and finance. But during my finance years, my first 3 years at Central Michigan, I took all my finance courses and I was admitted into the School of Business. During that time, as a finance major, people will always ask me, what's the difference between finance and accounting? What's the difference between finance and whatever other math or whatever business money type adjacent major, right? I would tell them finance is about profit maximizing, right? It's different from basic econ or studying logistics, for example, right? Studying pipeline logistics or pipeline management. Those things are different from learning how to take an idea and make money off of it, and to take an idea and the profit maximize off of it. That's part of the reason why I believe I do so well in YouTube is no matter what happens, I'm able to bounce back. And like I said, I thank God that YouTube put me in a position where I can come back. That's why I'm not allowing too much cursing on here, not doing too much. I just want to give an honest review. Fantastic is wrong here. Without the ideas of the people, Though a lot of those billionaires would be fucking poor now because they wouldn't have nowhere to reinvest their money. It's just that simple. When you look at people like Donald Trump, when you look at people like, fucking Elon Musk, for example, these individuals, Elon Musk didn't create Tesla, he bought Tesla. Right? There are only a few individuals like Steve Jobs actually created his company. But if you know about his story, Steve Jobs didn't code. Steve Jobs wasn't a programmer. Steve Wozniak, who was a co-founder of Apple, one of the few co-founders of Apple, he was the brains behind Apple. Nobody hardly mentioned Woz ever. They always talk about Steve Jobs. There's a reason for that. But again, I'll talk about that in a different video. Fantastic. I would like for us to, instead of arguing, to make authentic points. That's all, bro. Let's go.
Sharking shit that goes on out here. It's some dirty shit. They got people, Meta did it with somebody else to where they stole somebody's code and they turned around and said, hey, we tried to buy it for him, but since you didn't want to buy it, what we'll do is we'll just make a copy of your code, just a little bit different so you can't sue us, and we'll put your ass out of business. So, brother, I got all that covered. But again, this whole thing where you're going to blame the rich without the rich, okay, there is no fucking middle class because the middle class has to work. We don't have a barter system. We're in motherfucking capitalism, okay? And communism that everybody wants to see in the fucking run to has killed more people.
It doesn't put everybody out of business when somebody take an idea, Mr. Fantastic. And again, because I brought up Ring Camera, I'm going to give you an example of how what you're saying is untrue. The reason why I know that's untrue is because let's go back to Ring. Everybody now has camera systems. Me and my family, we have a system called Vivint, right? Vivint, Vivint. There's ADT. There's Simply Secure. There's Ring, of course. Then, of course, I like Google cameras, and I like the cameras by start with an E. Oh my God, they look so nice. But the Google cameras are fucking crisp, right? What it does is creates competition. And competition in a free market is always a good thing. The more competition there is, the more products there is, the more opportunities for those products to meet the customers. A few years ago, people didn't want to buy Ring. People may not want to trust Ring because they say, you know what, I don't know Ring, but I do know Google. I do use Google Drive. So now I can save all of my security cameras to Google Drive, to Google Photos. I use those programs already. I'm able to use my Samsung and connect all of my apps directly to my security system, right? I'm able to connect Samsung and Google's ecosystem to my security system, making everybody safer. We want to create competition in the market at all times. Imagine if Apple was the only company that sold computers. Imagine if HP was the only company that sold computers. We wouldn't even have this operating system known as the Mac operating system, right? We wouldn't have the iPhone. We'd be stuck on Linux RAM programs. But until we have genuine conversations, I think that I have to stay out of these spaces because listen to people like Fantastic, a lot of times he's not wrong, but he still be wrong a lot of times too. It's I'm not making no fucking sense. These ideas come from intellectual people, scholars. You know what? Let me keep going because clearly he don't understand.
People than any fucking system in the history of the world. So either learn how to do capitalism the right way and the way to benefit you, or you sit back and you depend on everybody else and then hate on the people that are literally putting food on your plate and making no fucking way for you to live and everything. Okay.
But I'm not saying, but to the thing of what you're saying, I'm not saying that you don't need people to fund what you do. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you need both. So like money means nothing without the intellectual people that have the ideas, right? They're like, hey, funding, you see a need in the marketplace, you have a new idea, we can fund that. And you're the person that can get it done, right? That's why people give you rounds of funding and all these other things, right? But like I said, you can't, billionaires don't have anything without the intellectuals. So it's a partnership. But I'm not going to say billionaires completely run everything or they completely run everything. No, because a lot of people, like, the reason that you see every generation of the economic engine, there's different billionaires because there's different intellectuals, there's different individuals that saw stuff in the society and they moved forward and they was able to create scale through their procedure. Yes, people funded them, but like I said, money alone without the intellect means nothing. Literally, and what you said, intellect without the funds, you can't scale. So
No,
it
that's not
goes
true.
hand in hand.
Intellect
Well, hold
without
on,
the
that's not
funds,
true.
you
Just
can't
hold on,
scale.
let me reply to him before you reply. So, no, that's not true. Again, like I said, we know the reason. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, those are family names. The Waltons, those are family names. That's a family that's going to be rich for forever. Nothing to
The
do with
Rockefellers started with one person in their family.
So again, so am I wrong? I'm gonna say this again. You said
it's hard to know if you're right or wrong, Fantastic, because it's hard for me to understand what point you are making. Like when you say the Waltons as a family name, the Rockefellers, that's a family name. How is that tying back to your former statements? Let me drink some water. How is that tying back to what you were just saying? What is your point in bringing up these quadrillionaire Illuminati type families? We know the story of the Waltons. They got rich off Walmart. We know the story of Walmart. If you know the story of Walmart, if you don't know, let me break it down for you real quickly. Back in the days, mom and pop stores used to run towns. There used to be a place where you get all your fishing rods at. And there's a place you get all your sneakers at. And there's a place you get all your ties at. And there's a place you get, right? Basically, people who specialize in certain things, mom and pop stores ran those, like a lot of those things. When Walmart came into a lot of places, Kmart, et cetera, it fucked up a lot of small towns, especially because now a person, instead of wasting their gas and going to all these different places, they can go to one destination. They can get gas, right? Let's say the Sam's Club. They can get, because Sam's Club is owned by the Waltons as well. Everybody knows Sam's Club is owned by Walmart, which is owned by the Waltons, right? They charge niggas a subscription just to walk through the door. You can get gas there. You can get groceries there. Food. You can get jewelry, electronics, home stuff, clothing. They even got a cafe there. You can get fresh food. They took the market by storm to the point where people were saying, "Hey, man," and it's the worst part. The prices was diabolical because they not getting everything from America. They getting shit from China, Taiwan, all kind of places. So you got the American white old man saying, "Hey, I got this American made fishing rod. It's gonna be $120, right? But it's handcrafted by an American worker who is paid an American wage, right? $120. The Walmart person gonna say, well, we have an equally, it's basically the same fucking thing for $30, right? That's saving you 300%. Oh, and that's what they do. We're gonna give you a warranty, right? We'll replace 5 of them bitches. Will they do that? No, they can't, because they have to pay the American worker more, right? Stay with me. You see, when you're talking to an intellect, you understand how this genuinely harms Americans. You wonder why people in the big three who work for the big three, Chrysler, Ford, General Motors, if you weren't in a union, you struggled. The cost of everything went up. This is why I've always urged people, if you work for those companies, buy American. Don't go buy a fucking a fucking Porsche or an Escalade. Sorry, a fucking Porsche or, you know, those fucking foreign vehicles. Don't buy it. A Mercedes, a Lexus. Go buy something that's made in America. But you know what? Maybe I'm just patriotic. Let's go.
That the rich or the billionaires are going to be nothing without the intellectuals.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that there are several families that you're acknowledging, and just understand, brother, you agree
And
with
it
everything
started
I'm saying.
with one intellectual. It started with one.
No, it didn't.
intellectual.
Rockefeller wasn't a damn
It started with one
intellectual, bro.
Rothschild.
He was
It
not an
started with
intellectual.
Sam-
Rockefeller,
Sam-
North
Sam
Rothschild was
Walton, who
they
started
were
Walmart.
founders.
It was one.
He was
person
not an
who actually
intellectual.
did it.
He was not an
actually-
intellect, brother. Brother, I think you're conflating intellectual and business. Just because you're good at business doesn't make you an intellectual. He is not an intellectual. Sam.
So why is Donald Trump president? Why, when people bring up how intelligent Donald Trump is, they correlate it to how good of a businessman he is. Being a good businessman don't make you intelligent. If I talk to anybody that supports Donald Trump, they usually says he's probably smarter than you. Why? Because he's a better businessman than you. He make more money than you. He made more money than your father. But now, when you're a good business person, that's not the signs of higher intellect. Like, people they would say Anton is smarter than most people on here because he make money off YouTube. I know, right, Tiffany? You can't make this shit up. And shout out to everybody in different chats holding it down, man. I just subscribed to Tiffany, man. Shout out to Tiffany holding it down, man. I appreciate everybody that's watching on all the different channels, no matter where you at. I genuinely appreciate you all. I really do. Let's keep watching, man. This shit is crazy. Shout out to Vixen Forever for holding it down with her $25 cash app on the first stream I did this morning. I appreciate you, my lady. Let's go.
Walton was not an intellectual, brother. Rothschild and Rockefeller were not intellectuals. They had money. They were good in business. So what I'm saying, their family name is going to be rich forever as long as the fucking earth exists. An intellectual would be your Bill Gates. Okay, Bill Gates is a self-made intellectual that's also a billionaire.
Actually,
So
he's not
hold
self-made.
on. Yes, it is. Again, he's a billionaire that's an intellectual that disproves all the other shit you're talking about.
No, the thing is, but the thing is, see, this is what we
Mark Zuckerberg. Hold on, brother. Let me finish, brother. I ain't cut you off. Wait, let me finish, brother. So is Mark Zuckerberg, a billionaire, self-made billionaire who is also an intellectual. So all of these points you keep making, I have several.
Mark Zuckerberg is literally a fucking genius. Mark Zuckerberg literally made Meta, which is a fucking AI. I use it every day because I have the, Meta AI fucking Ray-Bans over here. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? As far as Rockefeller, I want to show you guys something, right? Because he says that Rockefeller wasn't a genius. When you look up John D. Rockefeller, you will find out that from 1852, John D. Rockefeller attended an academy in New York where his family had moved to in 1851. Rockefeller excelled at mental arithmetic and was able to solve difficult arithmetic operations in his head, a talent that would be very useful throughout his business career. When you have somebody who's a mathematical genius, right? They're basically a fucking genius. This guy ended up going to commercial college, did bookkeeping, penmanship, commercial history, mercantile custom, banking, and exchange all at the same fucking time. So geniuses and intellect, it shows itself in different ways. I think Kanye West is a genius when it comes to music. I think Kanye West is just as much of a genius when it comes to music as Mozart. And I feel like I can back that up. But at the end of the day, the fact that we would make it seem like Rockefeller was just a rich man, like he wasn't somebody who was intellectual, is extremely disingenuous at best. Extremely disingenuous at best. Let's keep going with the review.
On every side of the thing to disprove what you're saying.
So
There are
I'm
intellectuals that exist. Hold on, I'm almost done. I'm about to land it, brother.
Go ahead.
There are intellectuals that are also smart enough and have the funds to be self-made billionaires, right? And then there are billionaires that are not intellectuals at all. They just have money behind them and good business, brother. Go ahead.
First of all, we're gonna stop this self-made shit. There's no such thing as a self-made billionaire. There's no anything that's done of scale is too complex to do that. So you talked about Mark Zuckerberg. So where is he with Eduardo, who gave him the money? Where is he at with his other two co-founders that helped that part of doing the business? You talked about Bill Gates. When Bill Gates came out in 1975,
he should have let him answer those. He should have gave him a chance to answer those questions. The answer is this: he's nowhere without his co-founders. Same thing with Steve Jobs. If Steve Jobs did not have Steve Wozniak to actually build things, to actually tell coders what to do, to tell engineers what to do, bro, they would be no fucking where. As a matter of fact, that's one of the major confrontations that happened between both of the Steves. Was Steve Wozniak felt like he wasn't getting enough credit. And he asked Steve Jobs one day, what do? You don't code. You're not an engineer. You're not a graphic designer. What do you do, Steve? You know what Steve told him? He says, this is a big orchestra, right? You're the best trumpet player. That guy might be the best guitar player. What I do is I sit at the fucking front and I tell y'all what to play. That's what I fucking do. I make sure all of this shit comes together to have a final big fucking, I'm too high right now. But you get the fucking point. You get what I'm saying? Now, whether Steve was right, the conductor. Thank you, Fear. Thank you. Helping a brother out. The conductor. The thing is, what would the conductor be without the trumpet? Without the pianist? Without the guitarist? Without the violinist? He would be nothing. He would be conducting nobody. Which is why it's important that we recognize all parties involved. That we recognize that there is no coming up without help. My wife is probably going to go down as, outside of my father and my mother and my grandma Grace. But let me reframe the statement. My family has done so much for me. But in the places where they couldn't, my wife has been the most important person I have ever met in my life. Even when she get on my last fucking nerve, the importance that she brings to my life when it comes to love, structure, even when I have to get my shit together, because a lot of times I slack. And she right there to make sure I'm not slacking again. It's important that we acknowledge, right, that we're not doing these things by ourselves, that we're not benevolent dictators, that we have individuals that without them, without their contributions, we wouldn't be where we are today. If my wife wasn't watching my son right now, I would have to find a way to fucking stream and make extra money. Like when I was a single dad, when I was with Leia by myself, that shit was the most difficult fucking time in my life. The whole point, before I go back to Fantastic and Fair Use, shout out to Lucky, whatever. The whole point is, black men, a lot of the times, they love to reject the individuals who are helping them. They love to tell a woman that you're not my equal, bitch. You're working for me. I'm the leader. When it don't have to be like that. It don't gotta be like that, dog. That's all I'm gonna say, man. You know what I'm saying? I have turned a new leaf. I'm not really interested in all that goofy shit. You feel me? I take my kid to school every single day. I'm a fucking husband now. You feel me? I pray every day. I think that a lot of you niggas need to, a lot of y'all niggas and some of y'all women, y'all have so much hate in your heart, so much disdain in your heart. Y'all gotta let that shit go. You know what? Let me keep going. These niggas don't hear me. Whatever.
His mother was on the chair of like IBM. Like, when the Microsoft first came out, they stuff was in IBM computers. His father was the CEO, like the parents of the stuff. Then he had Paul Allen. Then he had.
Hey, I'm not trying to be rude, but your audio is cutting out real bad. Like,
Hey, I'm glad it wasn't me, bro. Cause I don't want them saying, "Hey, Daryl over there with a new setup and his shit ain't even working right." Fuck that nigga, hoe ass nigga. It's not me. That was Shorty shit. Listen. I've been trying to link up with Jazz. I'm running this off the 17 Pro Max. I haven't even cracked open a new camera yet because I'm going to Chicago tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it too. Yeah. Okay. Can't wait to get the lighting in the background. It's gonna be all triangulated with different colors and shit. It's gonna be fucking amazing. Let's go.
somebody calling you or something. It's good now though.
Oh, you know what? It could be my phone next to
Yeah,
it.
your
My
phone
bad.
is too close to the mic. Go ahead.
My
You good?
bad.
Go ahead. Sorry, man. But my thing is this: like Bill Gates, he needed Paul Allen, he needed Steve Ballmer, and him to do what he needed to do. Right? He needed his mother, who was over at IBM, to help him get that contract to get his first thing as a startup. He needed his father over there. Like read about his mama at IBM. His mama, the real one. And some of the things she was able to help him do. He talks about it often.
Hold on, player. I'm fucking up. I ain't even showing the video. Player, y'all gotta get y'all mics and everything coming up. Like, it's one thing to use your phone and stuff, and I would suggest to Jazz, if you really want to use, if you're not doing reactions, right? If you're doing videos to the point where you're just coming up on panels, I would suggest an iPad Pro. Like, I can show you now, because I have one. I would suggest this iPad Pro here, which is the iPad Pro M4. I'm pretty sure the M5 is either out now or is going to be out soon. I haven't took my iPad off this fucking case in years. Or since it came out. As you can see, it's extremely thin. The M4. I would suggest you get one of these. All right. It has both cameras on the back, 4K front facing camera. It's a very, very, very good tool to use. If you don't like Apple, if you're a Samsung person and you absolutely need, a tool to come online and have decent audio and very good visuals, then you need to focus on either an iPad or a Samsung tablet as well. I would not trust anything else. I would not buy anything else. And like I said, I actually have both. I just recently got the Samsung tablet. I'm actually going to be sending, not this one, but the other one that I have to Fear, because I'm working on bringing her in. It's going to be dope. Sim Nation is back. Go back to this video.
About what his mother and father was able to do. You talk about Mark Zuckerberg and some of the things that he was able to do. But like I said, he's nothing without Peter Thiel helping him. He's nothing without some co-founders at school that as you said, that's why that squad. You need a squad to do work, bro. Nobody does.
I understand that, bro, of course, but still, when we say self-made, I'm clearly not saying that you individually or whatever. You're going to get funding, you're going to do those things, so on and so forth. There's still a reason why you have very, very few billionaires in existence, bro. Very, very few. Okay. And those people have the not only the business sense, but when you're talking Zuckerberg and you're talking Gates, it's also intellectual property and just straight out intellect, period. Right? Intellectual property, intelligence, all those different things. And then they have a product that's worth scaling to the point of where it's a $1 billion corporation. Okay. But we could just go past that, bro. Like I said, at the end of the day, this fight with the billionaires is pointless, because without the billionaires, you're off worse. There is no middle.
But isn't there something to say that the billionaires are able, the billionaires in conjunction with the government, they are able to provide the resources for the citizens to thrive, as opposed to constantly raising the price of things and still not raising the wage for things? If they are in control and they are providing the jobs, then wouldn't they be in control of making it more accessible for people to be able to sustain themselves? So we wouldn't have to rely on EBT, so we wouldn't have to rely on the government so much, since you're saying we should give it up for them since they provide the jobs, but they're providing jobs that we can't even live a good life with.
Well, no, that's the problem is oversaturation in low skill jobs and low wage jobs. That's the problem.
Oh my fucking God, bro. Let me drop the link, man. A lot of y'all that's watching is afraid to actually say something, and I understand it. You know, it's crazy seeing a sim guy that's back. It's crazy, right? Well, drop the link. If your camera is not on, I don't want to talk to you. If your audio is not working right, we don't want to talk to you. All right. But we will drop the link to invite people to, you know, just simply debate us, to see if they actually can debate us. Let's go. I'm interested in seeing what more comes from this. This debate kind of is kind of slow. I might leave this live up. I might put it on unlisted, or I might put it on private and then end up editing the video more. But, you know, fantastic. He's smarter than Lucky, but I'm not really I'm not giving super trying to make points and trying to actually show what the fuck I'm talking about type shit. He's just trying to talk shit about her. He's not interested in doing anything else. Anyway, let's go.
People don't want to get the skills necessary.
But these jobs, the thing is that you say low wage, the wage should be a livable wage. Nobody should. If the billionaires have this power, they can do things to help raise that wage.
Every place that claims to have a living wage has a horrible economy. Every place that claims to have a living wage is a poor country, usually like third world, and definitely not first. Okay, the living wage shit is bullshit. Okay, you cannot live in America, the first world or first world countries, and the prototype
of $8-9 an hour, which is the wage for some industries, and it shouldn't be based on what you deem as a respectable job.
Some of the jobs are even lower, Jas. Like when you look at places like Tennessee, the minimum wage is $7.25. Those are literally slave wages. Slave wages. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Slave wages. Nobody in America can eat off $7 and fucking 25 cents per hour. And then they wonder why people are enticed by crime. They wonder why people look at opportunities, you know what I'm saying, in crime, and they start doing goofy shit. They wonder why. You said no way? No way? All right. Let me go ahead and you know, clearly I'm over here playing Fortnite as well. You guys can hear me playing Fortnite. Let me box up. Let me drink some water too. Thanks for coming for the live stream. I genuinely appreciate you guys. Now, let me look this up. Hi, Gemini. What is the federal minimum wage?
The federal minimum wage for covered non-exempt employees is $7.25 per hour. Note that many states and localities
So again, the federal minimum wage is actually it's not against the law. It's actually completely legal. Because the federal minimum wage is $7.25. So what happens, right, is we have our government saying, well, we believe that most people should only get paid $7.25 per hour. So some of the states like Tennessee, Georgia, other states, they say, well, we think it's fine too. We think it's perfectly fine to only charge. I'm sorry, not only charge. Only give somebody the wage of $7.25. That's a fact. But see, until we start having genuine conversations, I don't know, man. This conversation for me to have is so easy because I've been in rooms with really, really intelligent individuals, and they don't have time for these ad hominem shits. None of that. They're genuinely trying to fucking make change, right? When you actually go to college, and Fantastic actually did, so I'm not gonna take any credit away from him, right? But when you go to college and you're around individuals who are eventually going to be lawyers, doctors, judges, right? These individuals have genuine conversations and they're not interested. Let me slow down. They're not interested in just having a conversation that's based on gender or race. We have to talk about qualifications. We have to back up our points. We have to substantiate our claims. Otherwise, we're just fucking talking to talk. But anyway, let's continue the review. Because I want you guys, I'm going to start reviewing actual intellectual people outside of Jazz. Jazz, you're smart. We love you, Jazz. But when I start doing those reviews, you guys are going to see a complete different shift in the level of conversation that's being had.
Because you talk down on the hourly wage barista or server or bartender, but that's where you go.
No,
but that's where you go and expect.
I'm not.
You. That's what. But they should also be given a little.
Let her finish. Fantastic. I find it interesting that when her man was speaking, Fantastic was completely quiet. He bragged about being completely quiet. But when it's the woman speaking, he can't allow Jazz to even to articulate a point so the audience can fully contextualize to themselves what she's trying to say. You know what? Let me keep going. I don't want to rant.
Wage because they are of service to you.
Let me interject. Okay, so again, this is a simple misunderstanding or poor understanding of economics, right? So let's say how much you think a barista need to be paid?
Well, I know a barista at Starbucks I think they can start at 20 an hour.
So is that livable? That's not livable for a barista?
I think
not in New York.
Baristas in states, maybe like New York, are getting $20 an hour. Go to fucking Tennessee and see if the coffee maker is making $20 an hour. There's nurses that don't make $20 an hour in fucking Tennessee, in places where, we have a federal minimum wage of $7.25. I would have start there. Mr. Fantastic, is that a livable wage? Yes or no? Why would billionaires who would never want to live off $7.25 an hour, why would they make that the livable wage when the products or the services that most of the time these people who are being paid that wage, they're a part of a billion-dollar corporation more than likely. They're not getting insurance. You see, I'm talking too much real shit right now. If I was talking some shit and I was, if I was talking some bullshit, we have a lot of people over here that want to see what's popping. They want to be a part of the drama. I'm not for drama. I want to see who's having genuine, honest conversations. Let's keep going.
Not in New York, not in Chicago. But here's the thing: it depends on who you are. If you are a single person
So
without
give me your
kids,
number. Just give me your number.
I will say this. In regards, before you interject about economics, and this way me and you may disagree on right here. Like, I'm a big component of
what's the number, babe?
what's the number?
Yeah.
It varies depending on where you live.
So just give me something across the board, though. Just give me something across the board.
Ideally, I know for a fact that I think Starbucks is starting at $20 an hour, but ideally, I think everybody should be starting at least 30 in this economy.
Wait. Okay, stop. All right, okay. So go from 20 to 30. That's a 50% increase, right? So do you understand for it to be?
No, we're not going from 20 to 30 because everybody not making 30. Not that because I'm down on Fortnite. My hands are free now. How much does a barista make at Starbucks in Memphis, Tennessee?
Starbucks barista wages in Memphis, Tennessee often range from $14 to $17 per hour, with specific job postings showing rates like $15.25 to $17.31 per hour.
So y'all up here having a conversation about coffee niggas across the board is making $20 an hour, like they out here buying Chryslers and buying Corvettes and shit, mixing coffees for 8 hours a day, when these motherfuckers making $13 an hour, $14 an hour. Gemini, can you give me a list of jobs in America that pays the federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour?
Jobs in states or for small businesses that adhere strictly to the federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour are generally entry-level service positions, such as fast food and counter workers, cashiers, retail salespersons, certain tipped positions where the employer pays a direct wage of $2.13 per hour, and tips must make up the difference to reach at least $7.25 per hour. This rate is most common in states that have not adopted a higher state minimum wage, or for small businesses not covered by the Fair Labor Standards Act.
Fast food and counter workers, cashiers, retail persons. That sounds like a lot of jobs that niggas, bad black people take up. Interesting, because Walmart is the #1 employer of black people in the country. Let's see if Daryl is right again. Gemini, is it true that Walmart is the biggest employer of black people in America?
Walmart is often cited as the largest private employer of black people in the U.S., with approximately 300,000 black or African American associates reported in 2021. The public sector, however, is considered the single most important source of employment for African Americans overall.
Interesting. It's almost like what happened at these corporations matter. It's almost like these corporations, like, Amazon going crazy too, because that's where I work at, Tiffany. That's where I work at. Ain't gonna lie, I love working at Amazon. I love Amazon. Amazon, I love you. All right. I ain't even switched to my other camera in a while. I love you, Amazon. Y'all pay my bills and keep my children fed. Okay? Stop playing with me. Look, I'm not the one. Let's go.
Fair, what you're saying. Everybody every industry, okay, has to have at least a 50% increase in pay by that logic. Do you understand how that does not work and it does not help anything?
No, but
now, hold on. I didn't interrupt y'all. I gotta stop. I'm letting you go. So once I'm going, just let me rock, and I promise I'll get back to you. Okay. So this is, like I said, a very, very poor understanding of economics, and this livable wage shit don't never work. Okay. What happens is the people at the bottom get a raise because it's nothing. It's pennies in a fucking bucket. But once you start going up the hill, okay, your lawyers, your doctors, your people that are making fucking $100,000, your people that are making whatever, more high earning things, for it to be fair, The way you're saying it, proposing it, you increase everybody by 50%. Okay,
I just think
that don't work that way.
I think if you have the opportunity, like, okay, if we even want to talk,
but he didn't explain how it works. He just gave you an opinion that it doesn't work that way. You never explain why it don't work that way. So you mean tell me that these niggas can't pay people more, but they can afford gold toilets and Maybachs and all the rest of that shit? But it's an impossibility that they would raise the minimum wage from. Sorry, they would raise the minimum wage from $7 to $15 federally. What would be the problem in that? I don't know, Fantastic. I don't know. Apparently, that would be a fucking problem. I'll break it. Hold on. Jeez. What's up, man? You hold the baby? You in the bed? Trying to smoke? You was in here asleep? I'm still streaming. Was that topic that boring? You fell asleep on? Oh, you was tired. All right, come on. I want to get my cookie too. You gotta smoke before you gotta wake up. Come on. It's a right road, yeah. All right. Chocolate chip cookies, baby. Shit fire. Good gas. All right, let's keep going. Oh shit.
our teachers and these type of workers that deserve well above what they're being paid right now. I do believe that billionaires in the government or whoever does all of the things are able to increase that, and it's not going to hurt them in any other way. They are choosing to keep certain wages at a minimum so they can keep exploiting the middle class and the poor to keep lining their pockets. Otherwise, if you got billions of dollars, why aren't you using it to make a thriving society within your community? I don't understand.
That's not how capitalism works.
But that's why capitalism doesn't benefit anybody but those who began it.
I will say this, and I will say.
So why are we arguing with each other when we're victims of the capitalism? We're not benefiting off of. But do you benefit off capitalism?
I'm benefiting greatly from capitalism, extremely greatly. I'm benefiting greatly.
I'm benefiting, but this is why I hate these idiotic arguments on YouTube, because again, it's not meant to really have a genuine conversation. The guys on here don't like Jas. That is what it is. They don't like that she pretty. They don't like that she talk back. They don't like that she's right. They don't like that she cite her sources. They don't like that she's intelligent. They don't like that she's unruly. They hate the fact that she has a black man that love her. Child. They hate that. How can he even be with a woman like that? You know how many times somebody tried to get me to check my wife online? Daryl, you don't hear her talk about black men? She said that we don't talk about our kids. Nigga, you don't. Yeah, I'm with her. Fuck you thought? Y'all crazy, man. Let's go.
I will say this to you, Jasmine, and that's probably my last point here. Is I'm a capitalist.
Yeah.
I believe in capitalism in the sense of it's the only system I've seen to continuously drive innovation and lift a lot of people out of poverty. What we have in America is not the truest form of capitalism, because one of the things is what happens to a lot of people when they become billionaires, they become some of the elites, they like to shut the door.
Yeah.
I want capitalism about competitiveness, always competitiveness. The reason that a lot of people can raise price and they can do all.
I said that earlier. I said without competition, the market is nothing. Now we're slaves. We do whatever this corporation says. If a corporation gets too powerful, they can become more powerful than the government. This is why the government don't allow monopolies. We're only gonna have one cell phone company to rule everything. One energy company to rule everything. No, the government regulate monopolies because they need to keep a cap on how much power they have, within the country. That's just the facts. They regulate every fucking thing. Y'all, I don't know, man. And some of y'all is showing me that y'all skip school. And this is why I'm enjoying just watching y'all have these conversations. It's like watching stupid people, not Jazz. We love Jazz. But it's like watching stupid people beat their fucking head against the wall and act like it's a real conversation. It's not. It's disingenuous. You rolling your eyes like Jazz rolling her eyes, but you mad she rolling her eyes. You're not actually open to listen to her boyfriend because deep down inside you think he's a simp anyway. Very, 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 very bad commentary. Let's keep going, man.
These other stuff because they've created a system of locks and bolts, not a system of like merit and competition. Right. That's why they can do some of the things that they can do, right? So my biggest thing is, like, I'm not a component of just paying people just to pay people off a wage, because to me that can create stagnation within your system. But I will say this, and one of the issues they have in America that they forgot that the white people benefited from before they had to open this shit up to everybody. We need a stronger educational system, largely funded, where you need to pull that money from the billionaires, because white people weren't complaining when all the rich people was paying 90% of income taxes and college was virtually damn near free. They had some of the best, like at one point, America's lower educational system was the envy of the world. And you have vocational schools and all this other stuff. You can get all that stuff done in school and system. But when the baby boomers came of age in 1980s and they elected Ronald Reagan, they decided they didn't want to pay for shit once they became adults. All that shit that rose them up, they completely went away. Because it's funny to me that white people, and a lot of people want to fund against the government when the government helped create the white middle class.
All right. So let me explain
the white suburbs, use
Hold on. The way I understand it is this. At one point in time, the rich and the wealthy used to pay more in taxes. I mean, it was almost down to 50%. Now I think it's like 22, 18%. But some of them it's less than that. They find so many loopholes that some niggas don't pay nothing. The whole point of it was the rich people will understand the point of taking care of the poor. Think of a Lord Ed Stark, also commonly known as Ned Stark. The reason why he didn't want to walk around exploiting wealth, because he understands, for one, we live in the North. It's cold here. I need to make sure everybody's taken care of. If all of the farmers are taken care of and their children are taken care of, they will produce more for me, which will make me more money. I'll go into real life because they're going to say, they're not Game of Thrones. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Everybody knows this. Detroit was basically built, the modern version of Detroit was basically built by a man known as Henry Ford. Henry Ford built factories and homes around the factories to make sure that his workers had a place to raise their children. Then they provided schools. And then if you look into Ford Motor Company, look into how much money Ford Motor Company has given Detroit public schools. Right? It's because they wanted the people to feel like they had a place that they can go work, raise a family in. There's a park there, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? If we're not going to have a genuine conversation, I guess I don't know what to say, man. Shout out to the 20 of y'all It's 20 people watching right now. I really enjoy getting back to YouTube. And shout out to Vixen Forever for being the sponsor of the first show.
The GI Bill for getting loans
saying.
and all this other stuff. They've had a massive influence in because of that. But as soon as everybody else had this time for them to get on, it's like, dang, we can't hold people no more. They created separate rules. But it's to the detriment of them now, because at the end of the day, we don't have enough plumbers. We don't have enough construction workers. We don't have enough people that do engineering work. And I'm in the tech space, so I know. We don't have enough AI engineers. We don't have enough data scientists to do the AI engineering in which you need. We don't have enough people to do the data centers and stuff that you need. And that's because they've created a system where the billionaires get to hoard at the top, and they don't realize if you just release some of that money, create the stuff that America was built on when it was the envy of the world on the lower system, your pockets would expand. There's so much opportunity. I've traveled the world. There's so much opportunity out here to do great work through the mind of the business of the private sector, but there's too many closed-minded people at the top because they're trying to hoard everything.
Right. Thank you, baby. And that was my thing.
Shout out to Jas for allowing her husband, her man, to fully just speak. And then she even hit him with a thank you, baby. Child. That's a feminine, submissive queen. That young man should marry her immediately.
That's my thing, why I understand the eat the rich concept, right? Because when you have billionaires hoarding, access to everyone else just for profit, that's exploitation. And I don't think that is a way that a society.
And we went through this education in America when we talk about Donald Trump, like
y'all gotta allow fantastic. And this is why this isn't a debate either. This is a conversation. Excuse me. Because if it was a debate, Fantastic would have to go against, those points. He would have to prove those points to be wrong. He's just quiet. And I believe he doesn't have anything to say because he knows that Jas' boyfriend is right about everything he's saying. Let's keep going.
The hell, like back in the day in the 1800s, where they thought people was doing well. They call it the robber baron, where there was a few rich people in America and everybody else was doing really bad.
Right.
But even then, Henry Ford had to realize when he was making those cars, I have to.
Damn. Look. I ain't even see this clip yet. And I just mentioned Henry Ford. You see, me and Jas' boyfriend, both intellectuals, I can tell. I can tell he's a smart, well-read individual. I can tell. I can just tell he a smart, well-read individual. Not saying fantastic, but god damn.
Raise the pay of my workers for they can buy the stuff in which we making. So there is a give and take there in regards to.
I understand give and take. I understand the give and take, but it is a full-on exploitation. There's so much. We have nothing more to give as people that aren't millionaire or in certain tax brackets. We have nothing more to give, and they're constantly taking. So where do we find the balance with the system that does have that give and take, that says, okay, you know what, we've taken this, we need to provide this now. We need to get back.
I'm gonna say this and get up out of here, man. So y'all can go on with the show. I'm gonna say this, right?
Jas, that was a good point, because a lot of people don't understand. For example, transatlantic slavery and how it was a business. Stay with me here. If you watch movies such as Django, and you remember Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Monsieur Candy, he ran Candyland. What was Candyland? Candyland was a business. How do I know it was a business? In one of the most prominent scenes of the movie between DiCaprio and Jamie Foxx, there was a scene when they were riding back to Candyland where Jamie Foxx's character Django was undercover as a black slaver. They came across a black man who was trying to escape. And they did, whatever that they did to him, y'all, I can't say it on YouTube. And when a conversation happened between the German who Jamie Foxx represented, he said, "Are you going to reimburse me?" Jamie Foxx had to say, "Nope. He's not going to reimburse you." Because Candy said, "You would pay $1,000 for a beat up pickaninny he ain't worth nothing." Right? And he had to remind him, just like he would tell him later on about Django's wife, "That's my property. And I do whatever, with my property as I want." This is all about business. Now, why was this exploitation? Because Major Candy or Mr. Candy, whatever, he couldn't run the plantation himself. He couldn't be out there in the fields selling cotton and all this shit himself. That's the whole point of free fucking labor in the South. That's why they was willing to go to war over that shit, because they was like, "Hey, nigga, I'm making billions right now. Imagine if Amazon was delivering packages and had niggas across America working for free. 24/7. Slave conditions. Not just 8 hours. They're talking about, nigga, you working all day." Nah, bro. The exploitation, unfortunately, Jas, is so deeply enrooted in America and so deeply embedded into the fabric of America. There's little conversations that can be said to change it. Actions and actions alone is the only thing that can change this capitalistic mindset that we have. And that's just the facts. I'll give you an example. Talking about civil rights and changing things. Abraham Lincoln going out writing the Emancipation Proclamation, though that actually changed things, ending slavery, right? Now, of course, one can argue slavery didn't end if you know about the 13th Amendment, which the 13th Amendment, it banned I hate saying this word. It banned involuntary servitude and slavery, except if this person is convicted of a crime, which means that if somebody is a criminal convicted by their peers and sentenced to a crime, they are essentially a slave to the state, or what the homies call state property. But you know what? Let me keep going. I gotta pause the video. Gotta speak a little bit. Fair use type shit.
The problem is people not being knowledgeable in finances. The problem is people not budgeting. The problem is people trying to keep up with the Joneses. The problem is irresponsible spending. Okay, everybody's always talking about how we don't have enough money, but when's the last time you did a budget? And I'm not talking about you.
That's not true. Fantastic. You think the farmers in Arkansas are having problems with spending and problem with trying to keep it with the Joneses? No, their fucking problem, right? Their problem is that billionaires like Donald Trump, got the government shut down while they getting paid. Government always shut the fuck down. Migrants, their whole workforce getting kicked out the country. They scared to come outside because ICE gonna fuck them up. They begging Trump. Arkansas farmers begging Trump, "Can you please help us, Trump? We thought that you was gonna make America great again. Cuz we thought that you was gonna help us. What's wrong? All of our free labor, cheap labor, and migrants and immigrants is gone. So who gonna work for $7.25 an hour in these fields now? How about them white people or black people? People like Mr. Fantastic. No, because he got a college degree. He was in the Navy. He gonna want to talk about a fucking salary. Child. Why would that be a problem for them to pay American people? Because they want to exploit people's labor. This has never. I mean, this is as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Fantastic. If you go back to San Francisco, we go back to California, 1930s, 1940s. The Koreans, the Asians, like that group of people, they began to flood California. Their labor was undoubtedly exploited because the white man wanted to be charged, $25 basically an hour because he was a blacksmith. The Asian man just came over from China. He was making swords every day for free for the fucking warlord. He's going to come there and he's going to make a better product. And instead of asking for $25 an hour, he don't need no union. He going to do it for $3 an hour. Bro, they exploit their labor all the fucking time. And if you don't want to admit that, then you're just being disingenuous, bro. Let's keep going, man. Shout out to everybody hiding in the bushes. Shout out to Tiffany. Where everybody comments at, bro? Where y'all at? Am I that boring? Is my channel that small now? Damn.
Specifically or anything, so on and so forth. People waste money. One of the greatest examples I love to use, Jazz, is you mentioned Starbucks. People love Starbucks. Motherfucking coffee at Starbucks is like what, $15 a pop for a large, right? You can get a whole fucking you can get a whole fucking month supply of coffee for $15. People waste money. People waste money. People don't spend money properly. People don't invest. People don't save. People don't buy assets. People do a whole bunch of bullshit. And what we're talking about here, the whole point is this
Again, instead of blaming the billionaires and the system that they have created to exploit everybody beneath them, we blame the people. They're not saving. They're not doing this. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. I don't know, bro. I just wonder, man. I just wonder why black men are so fucking weak these days. I'm at the 2-hour mark. I might be done with this soon. I got actual content I gotta record. I gotta prepare for tomorrow in my trip to Chicago. Because I look forward to actually getting some work done down there. Taking photos of my wife, my family. It's going to be beautiful. But I am going to finish this until Fantastic leaves. After that, I'm done. The rest of these niggas I don't care about.
ET shit. Now, again, I got to speak about it. She put it out here. Again, Tierney is married to a person. She's married. This is a married woman with several children that's bragging about having a job and getting paid and alluding to the fact that she don't need it, but she's taking advantage of it with a husband. Okay.
Do you think the government takes advantage of the people?
No, it doesn't. The government doesn't take advantage of people.
You don't think the government take advantage of people? That's how we know we're not having a genuine conversation. The fact that you would say the government is not, the fact that you would say that the government is not taking advantage of people is absolutely insane. The government is taking advantage of those ICE agents right now. When people find out who they are, and they will eventually, they're never going to be able to be looked at as regular individuals anymore. They're literally attacking Americans now. I'm not about to even break down why there's so many different reasons and so many different examples of how the government exploits the people. I'll give you a good one, though. The crack era, how they put the crack in the blocks, how they force people. And you know what? I don't want to have that conversation because then I got to bring out Gemini and Claude and Copilot and all the fucking AIs just to convince you that it's correct. I'm going to watch 2 more minutes of this and I'm out of here.
Oh, actually, it's way more people getting over on the government than the government getting over on the people. We're talking about
Why
money.
would the government need to get over on people?
I can explain it to you. Well, how many people allow on their taxes? How many people don't claim things?
A
You know, we got-
lot of millionaires and billionaires lie on their fucking taxes.
yeah. So,
But they don't go to jail for it. You make one
you're right.
wrong move as an average citizen on your taxes, and they
I got
come
you.
in at your front door.
Well, not
But
really, no.
they do it and scam their way out of taxes all the time.
Yeah, but you further you just proved my point. Like I said, the government doesn't get over on anyone. More people are getting over on them. So thank you for solidifying my point.
But how are we getting over on the government how do we get over on the government?
He's not talking about any socioeconomic class. He's just general, regardless of
people. Yeah, regardless, at top to bottom, people are always getting over on the government, bro. Like I said,
just because we're wrapping this up, thank y'all for wrapping this up. I just want to say this, just because I understand there is an audience or just some people that feel and it's somebody who just came in the chat to say, who may not understand the conversation or what's going on, or just me in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have conversations where it's like so far off where we can't really address the issue because we have to bring in other issues. So it ain't fair, just for who was commenting. So if I do not fit your cup of tea, I am really being honest here.
Oh, kind of more.
You may not want to watch me. If you think because you see female that I am going to be not addressing certain stuff that is.
It's not that people don't want to watch you. Look, it's that if you're not intelligent enough to genuinely speak on these things without knowing what the fuck you're talking about, then perhaps you should just not speak on it. Just don't speak on these things. If you feel like, you're not capable to have a genuine conversation about certain stuff, just don't speak on these things. It's so easy. Just don't do it. Let's go, man.
A sensitive topic. I am not that person. If you feel like Lucky is ghetto, okay, if you think the ghetto, I think you need to look at maybe the banner of my channel. I think you should probably look at the cadence where I come from. I lean into how West Coast people deliver a message when we pissed off. So if you have a problem.
Oh my God, more Rambo and Jammo. I don't want to hear the rest of that shit. All right, guys, I'm out of here, man. Shout out to Tiffany. Shout out to everybody that watched the show today. I'm building this stream and I'm building this channel back one stream at a time. I'm going to go back to pre-recordings though. I missed that because I can control everything. It just feels more authentic. This is kind of vulnerable. You get to see all the eyes and all the bullshit that happens when you're doing recording. So anyway, I'm going to start doing pre-recordings until we get to 1,000 subscribers. And then I'm going to go live. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll go live again. But until then, look forward to watching pre-recordings of me. Okay? And I'm a man of my word, so watch. You're not going to see me live again. It's so much time doing these live streams. It really is. But everybody take care, be safe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.